I started collecting, it was 8 years ago now. My collection started very, very small like everyone else's, being one small bookcase. From getting large deals, that collection evolved from move to move, from house to house. In 2020, we were lucky enough to purchase our own home, which gave us the ability to build a purpose-use games room. We decided to convert our garage into our games room. We insulated the doors, we hid facets of the room that would show that it was a garage, and we were lucky enough to have an epoxy floor. For those of you who saw our last games room tour video over 2 years ago, you would have seen the converted garage then. Well, a lot has changed, and I cannot wait to show you the new space. Well, same space, but new feel, new setup, new look. We will be starting in the first area as you walk through the door on the left-hand side, which is the media area, and work our way clockwise around the room. I hope you guys enjoy this tour. Let's get to it. The first thing you'll notice is this large one-off Sega Saturn pictured frame with the panels of 3 of the launch games, Sega Rally, Virtual Fighter 2, and Virtual Cop. This is a one-off and
one in existence.
So Aussie Soft made this specifically for you.
Yeah, because we're selling so much of their product.
Yeah, and like the Saturn didn't sell very well in Australia as well. Like
we're selling heaps of their other product now.
Yeah. Below we obviously have a franchise that is very important to me. One of my favorite franchises of all time, Home Alone. When I saw this Lego house, I knew I had to have it. This thing is just so cool. Such a cool representation of, oh god, what did I do? The McAllister okay, I'm gonna break it. McAllister house. It does like fully open up on all the levels, which is great. And we've also got some of the games. Now, this is probably the only good Home Alone game in my opinion. The VHSs, and we've got a little gizmo as well, just keeping them entertained. Now, we've got some VHS. I do collect VHS. I'm trying to be more astute in what I'm collecting. There are more VHS in the room of some important franchises, but I do love the VHS and I still actively look for VHS tapes that I want. Goosebumps, I cannot wait to read Goosebumps to my son. This is 1 to 53 with about a couple missing. Some DVDs, some of my favorites obviously are these E3 Access All DVDs that we've got for 2005. I think this is 2004, I'm not sure. And then this one as well, the future of gaming. Look at that, look at that. How's that for advertising back in the day? And then on the last level, we've got our random Blu-rays. Next to it, we actually have this awesome giant Halo Infinite standee. Now this thing is spectacular. I got this from my local EB Games. They were nice enough to gift it to me, and it's just showcasing some boxed Xbox 360 controllers that I have. This being my favorite, the Halo 3 ODST. And then down here as well, you will notice this wolf helmet. This thing here was actually gifted to me by Bethesda ANZ. I showed that I loved Deathloop. They reached out on Twitter and they sent me that, and I loved making that. And I also got some other goodies from them. Bethesda ANZ, really great at looking after the community. And then on the underneath it, that is actually the press kit for Halo Infinite that came with a lot of goodies, which I may do a video on one day. Do you guys like to see that? Let me know in the comments below. Now, you'll notice a big Xbox influence in this room. It's what I actively collect for on modern platforms. I actively collect all the special edition variants that I can for the Xbox 360 mainly, but also the Xbox One. There are quite a lot up there, which I absolutely love. On the next level, we just have a random display. I think I'm gonna have to fix this up a little bit with some random promotional item, Britain Bitters, based off the Elder Scrolls, which is given out during PAX 2019. at the Bethesda World event. We've got some controllers, some minifigs, and probably my favorite thing on this shelf is actually this Alan Wake E3 faceplate that was not a retail release. There are only 500 of these, and I absolutely love Alan Wake and Remedy games, so great to have that. On the next shelf down, we have some of the Xbox controllers that I have and love. I have a lot of Xbox controllers, more so than what's showcased here, and that's another thing I actively collect. I'm mainly leaning towards consoles, controllers, faceplates, and everything like that nowadays. Now, these two may look very random to you. This is a BioShock custom controller that an Australian console controller designer made when they did the re-release for the game. I've obviously linked him here. You can see We Are Robot. He was nice enough to send me this. This is the only one of this one, and also a Jurassic Park one as well. Jurassic Park being another one of my favorites, and this is something else that Bethesda ANZ sent me as well. It's a pin set for Deathloop. Now on the next level down, we start to get to the consoles that I said I love collecting earlier, and some random alien figures from my childhood. Now, these are different special edition consoles that were released for retail, with the exception of this one here. Now, this green color may look similar to what you have with the Halo special edition console. However, this is actually a debug kit that I got from a developer on the Gold Coast, and I absolutely love this thing. I'd need to do some repairs to it, but to have that is something special. Then we come down to, once again, who guessed it, more consoles. We have a number of different special edition consoles. Probably my favorite on this one would be the Star Wars edition, but also the Halo 4 special edition console with these kind of like scratch marks in it. This was gifted to me by a friend as well, so which makes it even more important. On the bottom level, we have some more random collectibles. That is a Halo Papercraft Master Chief helmet that was gifted to us by Xbox ANZ when the game released, and Beck had a great time putting that together. And we also have I believe it's the Arkham Knight statue, as well as some of the console boxes down here. Next section of Xbox we have is right here, with just some standard, some random special editions, and some steelbooks that I love. Catherine is such a great series, and love the box art on that one. Further down, some more of the smaller special editions as well. And then on the bottom level, we have a console box. Sorry, moving the dog bed. Some controllers, and then some random Xbox body wash and deodorant that was released only here in Australia, from my understanding. If any of you have watched my videos before on YouTube, these three statues which begin the Nintendo collection will be very familiar. This obviously is the first four figures. I believe it's like life-size. Yeah, life-size Majora's Mask statue. This thing, the detail on it is absolutely fantastic. This is the exclusive edition. The eyes do light up, but I broke the USB port on it, so I need to repair that, but that's a fairly easy fix. Then we've got some that I guess you could consider these not really a retail release, meaning they're very low print. There's 100 of Mifa and 100 of Urbosa. These things are absolutely stunning. When I saw these, I knew I had to have them, being a huge Zelda collector, firstly and foremost, but so much as well. I love the champions and what they bring to the Breath of the Wild game, so really had to pick these up. Alright, under that you'll see a shelf with Shantae. Now, Shantae is a platformer series that started on the Game Boy, a series that I love, and I actively collect all the games. Luckily, limited run games have done some physical releases of the games. The only one I'm missing is Pirate's Curse, because that is ridiculously expensive, and I've got some more Shantae collectibles on the way. Further down, we've just got another random shelf with some more special edition releases for the Nintendo Switch, an absolutely great system. They've done so well with the releases on it. The new Vita, and then obviously I display, as you can see, game cases on the shelves as well to give a little bit more look appeal. And underneath that, we have Laserdiscs. Yes, I collect Laserdiscs when I see them. Very hard to find in Australia. I got a lot for $100 though, which was great. And we have some Sega magazines throughout the years and some random books and strategy guides. So there you have it. That's kind of that small section there, which brings us now to the larger Nintendo area. Starting at the top, we have a number of boxed consoles. That Nintendo 64 one you see there is actually my childhood boxed one there. We've got the Rob the Robot NES Deluxe set, which I got for a great deal. I think I paid $500 for that like a couple of years ago. And then we've got some other boxed consoles, including a range of the Switch ones, which are great designs on. Coming down, we've got a random display of some retro goodies, the different iterations of the Game Boy. We also have these displayed of cartridges. I'm moving away from collecting in box and focusing more on cartridges for this kind of generation. And then we've also got this Zelda watch, which is absolutely stunning. Which brings us to our Xenoblade and larger special edition shelf. Xenoblade is probably my favorite RPG now. I love it, and I really got into the series mainly at 2, but it made me play the first one, and I played every iteration since. Here we have obviously Pyra and her accompanying Amiibo, and Mithra and her statue as well. We've also got some random Yoshis. I love the colored Yoshis. And then Game Boy Color. I'm pretty sure that is like a reshell. Further down, more special editions. I told myself I was going to stop buying special editions for the Switch. One day I will stop. It is a problem. I need help. But this is just a shelf showcasing that. And then we've got, I do love the PlayAsia ones. They are very affordable, very unique games, and easily accessible to anyone around the world. So I do, and I will continue to purchase those, and that's just showcasing some of their releases. As far as the next shelf, we have the Amiibo collection, in-box and out-of-box. There are also other Amiibos littered throughout this room. Amiibos are so well designed, and they got even better as time has gone on. So I do love it, and I probably will take them all out of the box eventually. And then we have some more strategy guides and magazine, including a complete, I believe a complete, like 4-year run of N64 magazine, the official Australian magazine. I'm not going to focus too much on the games I had. I'm just going to do a quick like glide of what I've got. I will do like a more in-depth video per section. Trying to make this as short as possible to just give you a showcase of what's in this room, how it's made up, what is important to me and Beck, as well as our collecting goals and everything like that. In this section, you will notice probably in future videos there will be a little bit of a change coming. I will be culling quite a bit of the Nintendo stuff as I move away from it. I will continue to collect for the Switch because it's such a great console to collect for. But Wii U, GameCube, I am coming for you. We are getting rid of a lot of it. There is a reason we called our son Link. We love Zelda. Especially me, it's been an important franchise since I was a kid. A lot of these are my childhood games, so we had to call him Link, and this just showcases my love for, our love, sorry, I should say, because Beck loves the franchise too, for A Legend of Zelda, showcasing a lot of the inbox games. I'm about 5 away from a complete collection. Some of the figures that have been released, Amiibos, and special editions of the game that have been released since its incarnation, this being the first release of The Legend of Zelda back in 1985 or 1986. 1986, the year I was born. That is actually a sealed copy of the Famicom Disk System one, which is awesome. That was gifted to me. I feel so blessed to have that. And then some more of the random statues. Anything Zelda, I am more than happy to buy, to collect. I really, really want to get more of the handheld systems. I love the 3DS, and I think I want to get every Zelda iteration that has been released. I have four. I've got that one. I have the 25th anniversary. This I got from a friend for real cheap, but the box is shattered on it, so I'd love to get a new box for that. And then the Hyrule edition one, which I got for 50 bucks, which this was not released in Australia, so find it in Australia, 50 bucks. Great deal, no box as well. I would love to have the box for that one. Rebecca bought me this one back from Sweden. I absolutely love her to bits. She fully embraces my passion as well. And then some more first four figure statues. Moving down, this is a Calyx. So it's got square boxes that you can put things in. Here we've got some Metroid Amiibos. That's another series I love. Some random special editions for the Wii U, my favorite being Project Zero. We've got some in-box NES games. Of these, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50 bucks for all of them. Local op shop manager called me. I tried to offer him more, wouldn't take it. Did a donation after that of an extra 150. But man, that one was in like new condition. It was actually, I believe, sealed, and one of the employees opened it up. Like, nothing had been taken out of it. That was a little bit sad, but it was still a great deal. And then some more Amiibos. Shovel Knight, another fantastic series. That brings us to the computer and streaming area, which is where I spend most of my time. I work from home, so this is where I work, edit, sometimes game, and sometimes stream. So let's jump into the computer area, my little sanctuary. Now, I mainly stream Xbox games. We love Xbox Game Pass, and it just makes things a lot easier. And the Xbox Series S is just such a good and easy console to use. And then we've got the Nintendo Switch Tears of the Kingdom Special Edition. Actual console's next to my bed right now. And we've, controller down. And then we've got some of the analog consoles, the Mega SG and the Super NT. Just make streaming retro games and capturing content for them super simple. More box Zelda games and an Xbox 360 for Xbox games and that don't work on the Series console. However, that backwards compatibility list is huge. And that's it, which brings us to the computer area. I absolutely adore the space I've created here. I feel at peace in this area. There's a few small modifications that I want to change, but I absolutely love how this is set up. On one side, we have the Hylian shield, and on the right, we have the Master Sword in its scarab. These pictures that you see next to this area were actually gifted to us by a fellow local collector. He printed them out for us, put these in these frames, and we absolutely love him. He knows I love Sega, so he did the Phantasy Star one for me and the Tomb Raider one for Beck, and they are absolutely stunning. Keyboard we have is a Razer Halo Infinite Special Edition Black Widow with its accompanying mouse and also the XL mouse pad. These two items were actually in the press kit for Halo Infinite, so I had to use them. And then we have the Stream Deck. We've got the Elgato 4K 60S Plus, and then just some small speakers. We've got the Audio Technica microphone, and we've got another First Four Figures statue right here. Moving on, another Calyx, and I'm actually really happy with how this display came together. Now, these are all vinyl records for different games and the Transformers movie. I just think they're the perfect size. They fit really well and it displays so nicely. So I'm really grateful for how that came together. As far as what computer I use, do I have a gaming PC? No. I have a poor man's laptop that sounds like an airplane taking off every time I try to edit a video. Hopefully I'll be able to invest in something better soon. We also have Leon figure, Random Toodles, Dreamcast, Back to the Future toys, and this Halo 2 promo big box that was gifted to us by a store owner in Sweden. He was such a great guy. I have the Halo because it's such an iconic.
It's good, pretty good quality.
Yes, like
Yes. You can take it back to Australia. It's okay.
sell it.
No, we can do some good price. You get the dust on.
Oh, we forgot the box. Forgot to add.
The box we forgot, but this is a gift from me.
Really?
Yeah. When it comes to those things, I will remember it as it has traveled to Australia now, and it gets a good.
We'll definitely need to start a YouTube channel, Craig.
I just heard that store is closing down, which is really sad. I was super excited to potentially revisit that. The Sega Master System and Mega Drive were my first consoles as a kid. They've influenced me as a gamer and also my collecting goals. That brings us to probably the biggest retro area of this room, the Sega area. This is my Master System collection. I say my, Rebecca could not give two shits about Sega. So this is my Sega Master System collection. As you can see, it's pretty much double deep in this Billy bookcase. I made these little things out of, I think they're called corn flux, just to prop them up so that you could see and I could see the games that are behind there. Next to that, we have one of my probably rarer Sega pieces in the collection. This here is the Lucky Dime Capers limited edition set that came with a t-shirt, poster, cassette, and the game's actually still sealed for that, as well as two other Disney games, the Illusion games on the Sega Mega Drive and Master System. So good. If you haven't played them, make sure you add them to your collection. We've got the Sega Mega Drive for Sonic Mania Special Edition statue, press kit for Alone in the Dark, another horror franchise that I love, a boxed Sega Saturn, Sega Saturn games, and along the bottom we've got some Dreamcast. Moving on, we've got our boxed 32X collection with some loose cards in these UPC kind of cases you see here. I'm 5 away from a complete in-box 32X collection. However, I don't think I will complete it. I have the Amazing Spider-Man, but there are some other heavy hitters that I still don't have. We also have some Sega CD. I'm questioning whether I sell some of these now to facilitate buying different things for the collection, but I have loved collecting for this, and there are some of these that are actually still have the factory seal that I got for an amazing deal in Australia, where we have the Mega CD as well, which is another random thing. One of my favorites on these is June. Me and my brother played this a lot as a kid, and also Jurassic Park, which is like a kind of FMV point and click adventure. Next to the 32X, we get into my second favorite console of all time. Well, favorite to second favorite, it swaps all the time, but the Sega Mega Drive. Up here we have some of the more uncommon games or games that I just love. So really good. Comic Zone is absolutely fantastic. Down here we get into some Game Gear love. I absolutely love this Fantasy Zone case for the Game Gear. We've got some loose cards. As I said, I'm not gonna collect in box anymore. Some random promotional items which I've done videos on before, and another Game Gear. That brings us to the games. The games are separated into two sections, the black label and the blue label. The blue label are always my favorite. I love the blue spines. I wish they were all blue spines. But as you can see, there's a lot of, I wish there were more. There's a few blue labels there. And then some Australia only releases, the Platinum, the Gold series, and the Sega double packs, which I've done a video on before. And then some random Mega Drive red labels, because a lot of ours weren't red. We didn't have the Genesis releases like you guys did. On this side, we have all the black label games, and as you can see, there is a lot more. There's a lot more black label releases in general than blue labels. I don't like the black. I really wish, as I said, they were all blue. We have some more random Sega games just under here. And down the bottom that I'm yet to work out what I'm going to do with. Utilize as much space as I can, and yes, there are some boxed consoles and collectibles on top of all these shelves. Above the ones we've just had a look at, we have the Sega Master System, we have the Light Phaser, a Master System 2, and some pop vinyls, which I think it's time to say goodbye to as well. Xbox 360 is probably my favorite console of all time, with the Mega Drive as discussed. So just displaying some games that I love, or some games that I think are like just cool. Alan Wake being one of my favorites, and I don't know why I don't have BioShock here. BioShock's my favorite Xbox 360 game. I think it's because I have the Steelbook over there. And then some of the OG. Love the original Xbox. I was not PlayStation 2. I was original Xbox all the way. And these are just some of the games that are maybe a little bit less common. Not rare, but less common. There are some that I really want to add to the collection that I don't have. Here we have some collectibles from Resident Evil, Halo, and of course Gears of War. Our son's middle name is Marcus, after this boy right here. And then down here we have some Hyper magazines. It's an Australian independent, probably the best video game magazine ever to exist in Australia. Sega Zone, which was run by Australia, Sega Aussie Soft, and some GameStar, another independent Australian magazine. Then we get to our Xbox game collection. This is probably the section that will continue to grow at the fastest rate, as when I am hunting, I am actively looking for all things Xbox, OG, Xbox 360, you name it, I want it. I want all things Xbox. If you have faceplates, especially reach out to me, I want them. Or special edition consoles. But as you can see here, there are a lot of Xbox games from the different generations that are shown. As I said, I'll do a deep dive section by section in another video. One cool thing I will note though is when Beck and I were visiting Sweden, we called into Stockholm into a local op shop, and we actually found these. There are a bunch of sealed copies from DICE of some EA game releases that were for 60 krona, which is about $3. And these were all sealed. We probably got about 10 sealed games, including the Alan Wake I showed earlier. And here we have the Xbox 360 kiosk, which is actually gifted from us, which was driven from the other side of Australia. It does need some work. I intend on fixing this up. I'm just trying to find the TV that came with it originally before I start doing that work. It is in pretty good condition, some yellowing, but I believe I'll be able to retro bright a lot of the yellowing panels. And then we've got this standee for Tears of the Kingdom that was gifted to me by the manager of an EB Games. I still have no idea where I'm going to put this thing. This section is all about the display, showcasing some games and collectibles that I really love. This I will get in a little bit more detail, as there are some absolute bangers here. Firstly, up the top we have some Lynx and Commodore 64 games for franchises that I love. Really nostalgic. Bill and Ted's, I think it's Excellent Adventure on this one, or is it Bogus? Excellent Adventure. That is still sealed. We've got some sealed Atari games. All these I got for cheap, less than like $5 each for most of my collection, buying in bulk and then selling off. Some of the rarer games, Streets of Rage 3, X-Men 2 Clone Wars, Boogerman, and Story of Thor. Boogerman is not exactly a rare game, but it's a game I loved growing up. We've got some boxed controllers for the Dreamcast, different color variations. We've got some more games that I love and some rarer games. Days Before Christmas, absolutely expensive game. We've got Dynamite Heady, Sonic & Knuckles, Sonic 3, all games I love. Some old school Jurassic Park figures, some Tiger handhelds that I picked up throughout the time, some 2 Dreamcast games that I absolutely love, and then under that brings us down to 2 bangers as well on the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo 64. Some rarer Master System games, Phantasy Star, Ultima 4, and Power Strike 2. All are complete, with the exception of Power Strike 2, which is missing the manual. This is one of the most expensive games in my collection, probably worth $2.5 Australian. And then some more uncommon games as well for the Mega Drive. Random arcades. We've got 2 collectibles for the original Tomb Raider. And this is a 3DO game called Sex. Yes, adults only. It is a porn game. I think I'm gonna have to sell that. I was hoping to get the full set, but they're just way too expensive now and hard to source. Coming down, we've got some of the good old Vita. Sonic games on the Master System. The Sonic games on the Master System are different from the Mega Drive. Sonic Chaos is my favorite. Some Japanese games we've got. Now this one here, Golden Axe 3, is actually an exclusive to Japan, and Alien Storm. Look at the artwork on the Japanese ones. It's always so much better than the ones we get. Some more 32X. This is another rare game in the collection. This is another $2,000 plus game I actually got for $150. So winning on that one. That's probably one of the more expensive games. Most I've paid for games as well. Then we come over to some more VHS of franchises I absolutely adore. Up there and down here, we have a box Game Gear, Alex the Kid in Miracle World, and it's I guess like fan-made games that followed it. Random CDs, some more for Dreamcast and actually Saturn. Enemy Zero is a great game in my opinion. And then we've got some PSP. Now behind there are some other random collectibles for South Park, as well as a Pit-Boy, some more VHS, some framed pictures and CDs and such that aren't too important and I'm not going to focus on. What is very important in this room is this right here. I spend so much time listening to music, and vinyl is the way to go for me. Not so much because it's in vogue, but also CDs deteriorate over time. Vinyl are more hardy and they last a lot longer. So I feel that if I want to listen to it in 20 years, I'm going to have a better chance on a vinyl than I do on a CD. Currently listening to Golden Axe. Next will be Xenoblade Chronicles. And we've got this tape player as well, which I picked up for $50 from an option, which I thought was a great deal. I do need a CD player and an amp still. Under these, we've got some consoles. These are all connected up via SCART. We've got the PlayStation 2, the Mega Drive 2, and Mega CD 2, the Tower of Power for the Genesis, Sega CD, and 32X, Saturn, Master System Model 1, and Super Nintendo. And well, where do they go? Well, if we pan across from my Video Easy Sonic store display, you'll see 2 PVMs, exclusive flickering. I am actually capturing content at 60 frames per second or in the PAL region, so these are at 50. So hence the flicker on top. Oh man, they died. Biker Mice from Mars with Atari. Some more consoles here. And down here, we've got all the ones I care about. One main missing, I guess, is PlayStation 3, but I don't really care about PlayStation 3. Hate at me in the comments. We've got a few switches and controllers in here. And if I can get it open. And in here we have our SCART switcher, which is a shining box 4.2 SCART switcher, which has done great. Above this beautiful paneling, we've got a Lack IKEA shelf that just showcases some different collectibles. A lot of Sega Mega Drive, some boxes of original Pokemon sets, as well as some other random things as well, like your old Street Shark. I guess that brings us to the last section of the room, the modern gaming setup. Let's have a closer look. But we have a couple of Halo consoles that I like and love. Probably this one is the best looking Halo console release in my opinion. We've got two Halo statues. We've got this Redfall airbrushed controller and this Redfall headset Steel Arctis Steel Series. Now this was potentially going to be a promotional item released in Australia, sent out to influencers for the game. This was a mock-up and they didn't go ahead with it for obvious reasons because the game sucked, but the person who created it sent this to me because he knows how excited I was about the game. So this was a one-on-one production that never went into effect. And at the back we have the Space Jam, a new legacy press kit that was sent to us by Xbox ANZ. Probably my favorite press kit we own. The console we have connected up is the Xbox Series X. No PlayStation 5. There's been no reason for us to buy one yet. And then we've got controllers, Final Fantasy mystery figures, and this cool custom display that I made for the Sea of Thieves Xbox One controller. I made this myself. I'm actually really proud of how it came together. I think it looks fantastic. I may do a video on how I actually made this. To the right, we just have the Halo Master Chief physical retail release. The lighting effect that you see on the TV is actually created with the Govee DreamView, which attempts to mirror the coloration on the TV to create like a dynamic lighting effect. Really cool. Other consoles we have connected up is another Xbox 360, Sega Drive Mini. We have the the PlayStation 4 Kingdom Hearts Edition, Nintendo Switch, mini consoles, and the Wii U. Down the bottom we have the JD Phoenix statue. This pre-order box is hiding our switcher solution for our HDMI consoles. This here is the actual helmet that came with the press kit for the Halo Infinite edition that you saw earlier. This thing I believe was a prototype for the retail releases, and then some vinyls. As I said, I love collecting vinyl. And there you have it. That is our Games Room tour for 2023. I had such a great time sharing our space with you all, showing our passion, showing how we've developed this room into our happy space. Most of the shots that you saw, believe it or not, I had our son Link strapped to me the whole time. So honestly, getting some of those shots was quite tricky. I would love to know, was there anything that you would like to know more about this games room or something in it? Feel free to sound off in the comments below and I do my best to reply to every single comment. If you've been watching this long, I'm sure you're already subscribed, but if you haven't, hit that like button, please do, as it pushes out the content to more people like yourself who may get enjoyment of watching this Games Room tour. Thank you so much for watching, contributing. The best part about YouTube is the community, connecting with people like yourself. I can't wait to show you more about this Games Room, our collection, our journey in the future. So until next time guys, happy gaming.